Hello, friends. It's John Klein III of episode 65 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review Secret Invasion Dark Reign. So let's get to it. And thank you, Francisco, for providing the theme song to the podcast. Appreciate it. And you. And this is during the fun era. And I should say this concludes our Secret Invasion tie-in. I only had 3 comics, so that dictated how many I was going to do for the Across the Spider-Verse. And this is during the fun era. Let's see here. In 2009, so like 2008 to 2010 maybe, where each big Marvel crossover led into the next crossover or theme as I'm trying to think of the order it was in, but one event ended with, well, maybe it was Dark Reign. So Secret Invasion ended, which led to Dark Reign, which we're going to kick off with this issue, and then history spoilers. That's gonna end with the Heroic Age, and stuff led up to that. I'm sure something led up to Secret Invasion, but those 3 things definitely led one into the other. And so the cover features the heroes version was the Illuminati, ironically, and this is going to be called the Cabal, and we have Loki during her female era, the Hood, who I'm still not that familiar with, Norman Osborn, Emma Frost, Doctor Doom, and Namor. And the writers Brian Michael Bendis, artist and cover Alex Maylev, color artist Dean White, letterer Chris Eliopoulos, who I'm a huge fan of, and probably should have mentioned him when I was writing about letterers a couple of weeks ago when it was National Comic Book Letterer Day. Production Joe Sabino, associate editor Jeannie Schaffer, editor Tom Breville, editor-in-chief Joe Quesada, publisher Dan Buckley, and this came out in February 2009. It would have cost $3.99 US. It's rated T+. Inside cover ad is for Prince of Persia, coming out December 4th, 2008. And I want to say people, and it was for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, as was the TMT game based off for the 2000. Oh no. Well, I was going to say the 2007 TMT movie had an amazing game that my wife and I were quite addicted to. And I think it was the same developer. Yeah, Ubisoft created both, but a lot of the game mechanics for Prince of Persia went to the Ninja Turtle game, like a lot of wall running. But now I'm looking at the dates, and that doesn't quite line up. But maybe that's just a Prince of Persia technique. I never played one of the games officially. So, since this is a modern comic, we get a fun recap page. The shape-shifting alien race known as the Skrulls recently invaded Earth through a well-planned secret invasion using their, which reminds me that what was that DC crossover where it's essentially also alien invasion, but it's like 10 years earlier, and their graphic, when they collected it, it said, like in a tiny little like word bubble, it's like not so secret. And that was pretty. Oh, maybe theirs was just called Invasion, and this one's Secret Invasion. That feels right. Secret Invasion, using their shape-shifting ability to seed mistrust among the Avengers and other heroes around the world. And I don't know if this is my comic or all of these letters are all smudged just a little bit to give them like a gritty griminess, because those are 2 different words. All looked lost, but the Skrulls' plan quickly unraveled when the mighty Thor summoned both the humans and Skrulls to a battle on the fields of Central Park. For the first time in years, the original Avengers are united and Nick Fury's back on the battlefield. And for the first time ever, with the help of the supervillain Kingpin the Hood, which at first I was like, wait, what? But it's the Hood who is now the Kingpin. Heroes and villains fight as one. The turning point comes when Norman Osborn, once the villainous Green Goblin and recently the leader of the Thunderbolts, steps up and makes the kill shot that takes out the Skrull Queen. The humans prevailed barely over the alien army. In the aftermath, the international peacekeeping organization S.H.I.E.L.D. is dismantled. Its director, Tony Stark, takes the fall for the invasion and is ousted from his position while Norman Osborn comes out as a hard-as-nails media hero and is put in charge of the initiative and all that encompasses. Secretly, Norman has called a meeting of controversial figures, Namor, the King of Atlantis, X-Men leader Emma Frost, Aus Latarian monarch Doctor Doom, Loki, the god of mischief, and the Hood. And it's not a bad issue, actually. I really dig it. And the issue opens with the page I'm going to share on Instagram and Twitter. So you can see that at SNFWM. And then I will use it to promote the podcast the next day on Twitter. And Blue Sky. And you can do that at Jackal SII. A little early plug. So the issue opens with Emma in a dream. A white hot room. But it's a dream. But curious, by this point, that's been established. Oh, yeah, no, of course it has. Morrison's run is way over by this time. You hear a voice, "I'm not going to make it." And Emma says, "Kitty, I thought you would help me. Kitty, tell me where you are. Why did this happen? Kitty, tell me. I can't. Kitty? Kitty!" And actually, I'm going to be sharing 2 pages because they copied this exact page second to last issue. Spoilers for what's to come, but I've looked at both of these back to side by side, and they're the exact same page over and over again. So that seems like an opportunity to at least reverse the images, but anyway. So San Francisco, because this takes place in the Utopia era for the X-Men. And they have a pretty great crossover with the Avengers, or the Dark Avengers. And they get their own Dark X-Men team that Emma's going to lead both of. So San Francisco, and she wakes up next to, it has to be Cyclops, but I don't know, the way it's colored or shaded or inked, it could be Gambit. It looks like he's wearing a head sock. Which I say that, but Cyclops often wears a head sock, so... Anyways, but they're also... It looks like they're on a twin bed. They are, together on this bed. And you hear a knock knock, but without the K. Or the first K. Nor the C, so nook nook. Oh, Emma Frost? Yes? Okay, well, this is for you. And it looks like a tiny piece of, an envelope. Why would Norman Osborn send a Thunderbolts agent here to bring a package? I don't know, ma'am. I know you don't know. I wasn't asking you. Thanks. And then she reads the letter. She's shocked by the letter. And then we see... I was going to say a Quinjet, but it's not really the Blackbird either. It's a white plane. Did Emma Frost get her own Blackbird at one point? Did she call it the White Bird? The White Falcon? I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh, yeah. So they're taking her to the new Stark Tower, but now it has a weird thing on the top of it. Welcome to the Avengers Tower, Miss Frost. Sub-Basement 9. Sub-Basement 9, says the computer. And so she goes all the way from the tippy top, to Sub-Basement 9. And here's a double-page ad for Avoid Gas Hogs. It's a Honda car. That, I don't know, car ads in comics. Has anyone ever flipped a comic and went oh man, gosh, I need a new car, which I do need a new car. I better go to Honda and buy this car right here. And I can bring the comic, I want this one. And they're like, sure. And it's 20,000 more asking price. And this is a Bendis comic, so there's some amazing dialogue, fun. I don't know. I'm a mark for Bendis, so I'm all about it. And so she walks in the room, and there's Doom sitting at the table, and he's like, Miss Frost, no man or woman shall enter the mind of Victor Von Doom. I suggest you stop attempting to do so or incur my wrath. And there's like a softness Maleev draws to her, which I can imagine Dean White, the color artist, also helps making it like a softer, but and she's wearing the classic White Queen outfit, but with the red X between her breasts. Yeah, okay. Which I don't know if she would ever say yeah, but whatever. She's talking to Doctor Doom. You do what you gotta do. And then Namor comes in, and Maleev draws him not as an attractive Namor. So, you win some, you lose some. And he says, Victor. Oh, I should probably use two different voices. Namor, I thought you weren't going to come. I can't do two different voices. I don't have two commanding voices. If I do a Latverian accent, but I don't know. A courtesy or curiosity? Lot as well. Aye, it got to me too. Who is this? This is Emma Frost, leader of the X-Men, former White Queen of the Hellfire Club. Oh yes, Emma Frost. I am Namor, King of the Seas. I know we've met. It's a pleasure to meet you. We've met, have we? Do you always smell like that? And that's funny. And he just has a panel dedicated to his deadpan look of like, there is one here who has not revealed himself. I suggest you do so, or I will do it for you. And Doom just looks menacing, which is impressive with an armored face mask. And then it's the Hood, Parker Robbins. Uh-oh. Emma's face is obscured, but it's her saying the answer. And how the hell would you know that, girly? There's someone else inside the room, too, though. He's like, get out of my head. Trust me, you do not know who you are messing with. Do you? Hey, Anyway, she legit, I guess because she's amongst villains, like gets him to put his own gun in his mouth. Which, you believe not fable, but the theory of telepaths can't make you do what you don't want to do. So, mileage may vary on that. And Doom recognizes that, hold still, we are now in the presence of a god. I am Loki. And Namor's like, you look much better than the last time I saw you. I'm pleased you find this new form so appealing. Well, I didn't say that. I was just merely Doom. And I just like how Doom's like announcing people. Part because he wants to be announced himself, but he was first. He's coming. Yes, Emma says. And then we get Norman. And he does not have the cornrows. Like it's mostly just like a close crop haircut. And that seems like the best way to do it. And Norman's like, thank you for meeting with me. Okay, it's a new day, so listen carefully. This is how it's going to be. As you all now know, I, Norman Osborn, have been given the keys to the kingdom. Tony Stark is out. S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer. I am heading a new world peacekeeping task force that includes the Initiative and the Avengers franchises. And as far as I'm concerned, this is good news for all of you. So then it's pretty much the whole issue is just him doing his sales pitch. So his sales pitch is essentially, hey, honchos, I want you all to just do what you want to do. You all get wins, and I'm going to stay out of your way, or if anything, I'm going to help set you up, and then you can have your way. But no more heroes interfering with your nonsense. Like, I run the Avengers, I run Thunderbolts, I run the Initiative. Like, I'm the new Nick Fury. Like, I'm going to stay out of your way, and all I ask is for loyalty. Which the Hood's like, well, that's what I did. Like, strength in numbers. And he's like, good idea is a good idea, but no, I don't want a piece of you or any of you. You keep yours. What I get in return is, And Doom says, credit for being the one who got us under control, doing that which Fury and Stark could not. And Norman takes a beat. And Namor's like, I don't trust you, or this. And Osborn recognizes, like, Namor doesn't have a kingdom, Doom doesn't have a kingdom, Loki doesn't have a kingdom. And Kingpin's quick to, or the Hood's quick to be like, well, I'm the Kingpin, I got what I want, Goblin. Which I want to say the world at large doesn't know Norman Osborn's the Green Goblin, but everyone pretty much, like, it's the worst kept secret within the hero community. And then Hood talks about how, like, this many, like, masterminds, that there's going to be backstabbing and betrayals, and Norman's just like, there's no reason for that. Like, we're all going to just stay in our own lanes. Like, no one should conflict with anyone else. And then Osborn, threatens that anything you gain from this new relationship can easily be taken away, like that. And Maliv does a fun thing where the fingers clearly are either coming to a close or just, making the snap, as I just did, which I think he's making the the middle finger and the thumb come together. Actually, no, he snaps with his index finger, so it's hard. I'm not even doing it. Like that, by force, which makes Loki laugh. Oh, no, please, continue. Doom says, I like to go back to a point my colleague Namor made about us not liking or trusting you. This newfound arrogance of yours even to call us here. And Norman says, yes, well, I wasn't done with that point. In such case, as one of you turns on me or each other in payment for the kindness I've shown towards you, I have my friend. If you so choose as to even lift a suspicious eyebrow toward me and mine, and you and my friend here will have some words. And we don't see who the friend is. It's just a shadow figure behind a door, but the door is open, just ajar. Emma, you're a psychic. I can feel you poking around my head now. You read minds. Tell me, am I lying? And then she's quiet. Kingpin's quietly looking at her. I guess I'm respecting the Hood. I'm just calling him the Kingpin. And Emma finally says no. And Norman continues, something for even a goddess of mischief to think about. And Norman points out how dumb it was of Fury and Stark to not work with them and to embrace them and their causes. And then Emma speaks up, why am I here? I'm not like you. You're not? Since when, dear? You are Emma Frost, White Queen of the Hellfire Club, leader of the X-Men. You are the spokesperson for powerful people who are dying out. It's time to make some bold moves on behalf of your people or they will be gone. The mutant population is decimated, which is fun because that was what they called it, the decimation. And if you don't want to be rounded up into Canadian concentration camps, which, by the way, is an idea being proposed right now by those who propose such things, you need to tap into your own true self and make some tough decisions. Also, for me, it's nice to have a psychic on the team. It keeps everyone relatively honest. Except, I'm sure Doom here has guards and magic stuff blocking everything, but that's okay. I know what you want, Victor. Oh yeah, so then he's walking around the table in a very fun way because we see that he's clearly walking across the pages, but it's comics, so he's standing still, but having a different character in front of him shows that he's moving around. I don't know, it's a pretty great comic, everyone. You want Lactivia, and you can have it. As of today, right now, you're extradited back to your homeland. See, that's an argument that says that when Tony Stark arrested you, he did so under the influence of a Skrull virus, and that means you were unlawfully imprisoned and are free to go pending further international investigation by the World Court. See how easy it is? You're going home on my dime. You got a better offer, then take it. But one thing, though, like, he will be talking to Doom, but then we see Namor on the page, but he's still talking to Doom, so it's like real time. And so what he wants to do with the Hood is take all of his goons and then make them all register the initiative, like they're going to be legit. And so if anything ever happens, just say they're with Norman and they'll be publicly heroes, publicly reformed. He'll make them Thunderbolt members. He'll make them Wisconsin Avengers. Whatever you're comfortable with. You keep yours. No government attacking. Oh yeah, but no attacking government facilities. No mischief for the sake of mischief. And when I tell you call you until you hit something. You hit it, and I promise there isn't anything I want hit that you will have a problem with. But you know, you get a immunity. You get pinch, you walk, and you get to live your life unpunished. So the Hood wants to know about the Avengers, and Norman has a plan for that already. But they'll find out in a week. And then Doom wonders, Tony Stark is not going to have a good year. He signed the tower and the Avengers over to S.H.I.E.L.D., so S.H.I.E.L.D. would pay for it. So he lost it. He put the target on his head. He opened the door. And Namor's like, Loki, what about you? I want Asgard. And I want it in the heavens where it doth belong. Then we want the same thing. Okay, well, I have a lunch. Leave the way you came. We'll be in touch. Victor, you be escorted to a transport ship back to your country. See it as a goodwill gesture. And then we see Emma staring at Norman. I'll be calling you soon. And don't talk about me behind my back now. Which I imagine is him ending on a joke, but he looks very stern. And then we see the door, from the perspective of the door to the table, and they're also standing there. The Hood stands up first, which I think is a sign of weakness. And he misses away. We see Emma looking back at the rest of the table. We get a double-page ad for Spider-Man Web of Shadows that I wish I had played. But my PS3 died with the yellow light of death while playing Fallout 3. And I missed out on this game. I missed out on Spider-Man. What was the sequel to Shattered Dimensions? Edge of Tomorrow? Something? And Arkham City was another one. And Fallout New Vegas was another PS3 game I wish I got to play. Oh, and that Captain America game that I heard was not great, but pretty fun for a Captain America game. Which I don't know what that means, but Loki says mortals, and then she misses away. And then I guess Emma just straight walks out the door. And we're left with Doom and Namor. Are we alone? We are. What's the move here? It is as before. Let him set us up. He will soon implode. Then when all this is over, you get the seas and I get the land. Which I sort of love that as an ongoing deal that Namor and Doom have. Like, hey, we're gonna end being the victors. Which is fun because he's Victor Von Doom. I caught myself having the thought. But you can't hear thoughts, so I gotta voice all of those. But it's a long-standing agreement. I get the land, you get the sea. And if he doesn't, it's his nature. He will. But if he doesn't, then we'll have a battle on our hands, the likes of which this dimension has never seen. Thunderbolts Mountain, Coyote Spring, Colorado, base of the Thunderbolts. And Norman's walking around trying to get things organized. The swordsman shows up and talks about how he's being kicked off the Thunderbolts. Because I think Thunderbolts as a concept ends as the Dark Avengers picks up. And then Swordsman literally, well, not literally, but he bites the hand that feeds him and starts calling Norman crazy. And then, as a disservice to the Swordsman, Norman legit just takes his sword out of his sleeve that looks like a bunch of spider webbing. So I don't know how it was connected to him. And then stabs him through the chest with his own sword. Like, how do you even do that to a guy who's a master of swords? And so then Norman, while still holding the sword, because you forget that he has goblin serum pumping through his veins when he's not in the goblin suit, and he just carries the sword, tilt up. No ways to tilt the handle, the pointy side up, as the swordsman's still impaled, and just pushes him to a window and just breaks the window with the swordsman's body as he just tumbles down the mountain. And he's like, I'm in charge, me. And he's just insane. There's an ad here for Xbox Live, which now comes with Netflix, which is fun. And then you see a great splash page of Norman going like, oh no, as he's clearly going to lose his mind. New York Comic Con's coming. It's the 4th annual one in February at the Jacob Javits Center. I was going to see who was coming. Oh, no guests just yet. And then we get the repeat page of Emma in the White Room. I'm not going to make it. Kitty? I thought you would help me. Kitty, where are you? Why did this happen? Kitty, tell me, I can't. Kitty, Kitty! But it's the exact same 5 pages, or 5 panels, so. San Francisco, and Emma wakes up again, like, ah! And now we see that Scott does not sleep in a head sock. And her hands over her mouth. When she takes them down, she just looks, I don't know, panicked, sad, a litany of emotions. To be continued in Dark Avengers 1 and New Avengers 48. And Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Dark Avengers. And there's the Iron Man or Iron Patriot, who is Norman Osborn. There's a Spider-Man, who's, of course, Venom. And I want to say it's Scorpion Venom. Hawkeye, who is really Bullseye. Wolverine, who is really Daken. And Captain Marvel, who is really Moonstone. And then we get some preview pages of Secret Warriors, also out in February. And then preview for Agents of Atlas. Oh, and War Machine gets his own comic, so that's fun. And the Dark Reign checklist, December 2008. Avengers Initiative 20, Dark Reign New Nation, Invincible Iron Man 8, Miss Marvel 34, New Avengers 48. And at this point, I think I am reading Avengers, like I'm continuing to do so. Secret Invasion Dark Reign, which we got, which is not checked for us, which is disappointing. Secret Invasion Requiem, War Machine 1, January 2009 is the Avengers, well, pretty much it's Avengers Initiative 21, Dark Avengers 1, Deadpool 6, Invincible Iron Man 9. And if this is the Deadpool 6 I'm thinking of, Deadpool 7 should be his big wedding issue. Which I guess with Deadpool 3, earlier today they announced the writer's strike was coming to an end, so one will hope the actor strike should be ending soon as well. Because I can't imagine the writer's strike, like the writers agree to it and then be like, oh wait, you guys are holding out for something better? Which is a real move. Invincible Iron Man 9, Marvel Spotlight Dark Reign, Mighty Avengers 21, Miss Marvel 35, New Avengers 49, Punisher 1, Thunderbolts 128, getting close to that sweet 129. Uncanny X-Men Annual 2, War Machine 2, Dark Avengers poster, look forward to that. February 2009, Agents of Atlas 1, Avengers Initiative 22, Black Panther 1, Dark Avengers 2, Dark Reign Files, which I want to say I own, but I guess there was no X-Men content in there, or no Kate Pride or Magic content, or Lockheed. Deadpool 7, Invincible Iron Man 10, Mighty Avengers 22, Miss Marvel 36, New Avengers 50, Punisher 2, Secret Warriors 1, Thunderbolts 129, they did it, y'all. War Machine 3, Wolverine Origins 33, and there's a little note here. Please note, Amazing Spider-Man 584 will not be a Dark Reign tie-in, but is the first part of Character Assassination, a 5-part epic by superstars Mark Guggenheim and John Romita Jr. Which is like, you didn't want to pay for, like, put another house ad in there for that, but I guess not. Which, you know, Norman Osborn being the new head of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he will rename Hammer, which I'm pretty sure never got an acronym. So I guess it's just stylized H.A.M. I don't need to spell hammer. Well, I'm halfway there. .M.E.R. Or period, whatever you want to do. And then the back cover ad is for The Dark Knight, now on Blu-ray, which now I'm having the member be in Italy on our honeymoon. And like my wife's buying stuff, she's encouraging me to buy stuff, but I can't think of anything. And there was an Italian version of the Dark Knight Blu-ray that I should have just bought. And I knew I was going to regret it when I chose not to buy it. But also I had allowed myself to forget that, so that came rushing back. And so that, everyone, is Secret Invasion, semicolon, Dark Reign. And we conclude our Secret Invasion. And so October is going to be our Loki month, which I might have to just do 3 issues, 3 3 episodes a week to cover Inferno and then whatever current comics coming out. Which this is a big week as we have Invincible Iron Man 10, which is supposed to be the wedding, the Frost Stark wedding. So see if Kate Pryde shows up for that. Storm 5, which I feel like isn't a current comic book. Like I feel like it's like J.M. DeMatteis's Magneto. That's a retro series. Ultimate Invasion 4, which we already got news that once this is over, we're going to get Ultimate Spider-Man 1. So that's exciting. More exciting, which Hickman's going to write himself if there's an Ultimate X-Men line. X-Men Days of Future Past Doomsday 3, which now I'm trying to remember if I read 2 or not, but it's a fun mini-series thus far. Jean Grey 2, which issue 1 was pretty fun. Realm of X 2, so we'll review that one for sure, because Magic's on the cover, versus Typhoid Mary. Miss Marvel, the New Mutant 2, so we see a Shadowcat shows up for that. A reprinting of Micronauts 1. That's fun. Wolverine 37 with the Hulk. Amazing Spider-Man 34 with Green Goblin and Spider-Man. Alpha Flight. Dark X-Men. Oh no, Dark X-Men 2 already came out. So, is it? Yeah, and then Uncanny Avengers 2. Okay. I guess it's because it's the awkward last week comics and then this upcoming comics. But so Realm of X 2 we will review next week, and maybe Invincible Iron Man 10. I don't know how we would do that, but we'll figure it out. And October should be a fun month, and I think I can tell you what our Inferno comic is. Oh yeah, that's right. I already mentioned it last week. Uncanny X-Men 241, which Ileana's mentioned a couple of times, so it wasn't just the one panel. But that is later this week. And so, thank you everyone for listening. Really appreciate it, and I will talk to you next time. And if you want to read what I ever my thoughts, you can go to shadowandflamewithmagic.com and read the blog. Might as well give the little original site a shout out. Alright everyone, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.